What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome to a new series here on my channel. It is F1 2013 career mode with Lotus, with my driver Mick Mellor. That may be a familiar name to some of you because he was a beast of a player for me back in Football Manager 2013, and I decided to continue his legacy on by doing this 25% career mode under his name. So I was meant to show you the setup here right now, but I forgot, and I was meant to do it during the race and I forgot again, so sadly you won't be able to see the setup, but I'll put a link in below because I get all my setups from a website. I'm not ashamed to say that just because I have no idea what I'm doing, and if I probably tried to do one it would be terribly loud and I can't be bothered to learn. So we're on to Q1 and decided to do two flying laps on one set of prime tyres, and I felt that would be enough to get me through to Q2 because, well, you know, really we should be qualifying, getting past Q1 with ease. So this is my end of my first lap, and there were a lot of mistakes. I couldn't make up a lot of time. Ended up being P4, but there was still a few more people trying to set times and stuff. So this is me continuing on into my second flying lap, just ahead of Button. And as you see, you know, a lot more people have set times, so it puts us down into 8th, just behind, sandwiching between the two McLarens. And again, this lap, you know, could have been better in places, but still was a lot cleaner and a lot more smoother than my first lap, and that is why we improved on the time by a tenth of a second and put us up to P7 just behind our teammate Kimi Räikkönen. And that was all we were going to do in Q1, and it was enough to see us go through. There are the people who got knocked out, and overall, you know, as you would expect, we qualified quite easily into Q2. In Q2 I decided to put a set of option tyres on because you know, obviously I really wanted to go through, so I did one flying lap per set of option tyres that I was going to use in qualifying. So this is my first flying lap in Q2. Gave it 1:28.279. Not the best time, not the worst time. As you can see here, plus into P14, and we're actually approaching the end of our second flying lap in Q2 using another set of option tyres. We have to get 10th, of course, or higher, and we were going faster all throughout the lap. We're not doing a much better lap, pulling us into P6 with a 1:26.918, I believe that is. I can't quite read that here. But overall, you know, very optimistic going into Q3 because we had a very, very good Q2. Here we're using the same set of tyres that I just used a second ago because they were in the best conditions out of the two options I already used, and basically the grip levels were completely gone. They were completely shot. I had no grip going around certain corners, and that's why we only set a 1:27.894, and it would mean we were going to have to come out with our last fresh set of option tyres, and we were going to try and go quicker. So here you go, the session is over. We're currently found ourselves in P10. We are trying to improve, but the lap hasn't been very clean. In fact, it's quite a poor lap. We did improve, belonging to a 1:26.9, 2/10 off Nico Hülkenberg in 9th. So at this point to be P10, it means the cars behind us are going to have an advantage of fresher tyres. So the start of the race is going to be an interesting one. As you see, a Ferrari front row lockout with Fernando Alonso on pole, Kimi Räikkönen in 7th, and us down there in 10th. We have the two Force Indias behind us, I believe. We see Nico Hülkenberg to the left of us, Mark Webber directly in front of us, and our teammate slightly on the left. Our first ever race in this season, 5 red lights, and away we go. Start of our first ever career mode race. So we don't get the best of starts. In fact, we're quite poor. Hülkenberg pulls away from us, and the Force Indias attack us down our left. We're going to try and dart up the inside, but sadly, because Button turned in to get the apex, I end up cutting the corner, have to get position back, and in the end I actually just lose the rear and end up having to correct for it, costing me a lot of time, putting me back into P10 and giving the position back anyway. But again, we're going to go look for the inside. We're going to try and dive down, try and take as many positions as we can, whilst, you know, being precautious, being safe, and not crashing into anyone. So that puts us up to P6, and now we've got Mark Webber directly in front of us. Our engine's overheating a bit, but we won't really care about that right now. We just want to try and get as many positions as we can as we go side by side now with Mark Webber, you know, pretty much on the grass of my tyre there on the right, and we managed to just outbrake him. We pretty much give him nowhere to go. We have the apex, we have the inside line, and then in the end we get P5. So from 10th to 5th in the space of the first sector is a very nice way to start the race. Cutting on now onto lap 4, nothing really happened apart from us maintaining that 1 second gap with Mark Webber. Here we are in sector 1. You can see the front runners ahead of us a little bit ahead, and that is Lewis Hamilton off the track there, and it completely put me off, made me go wide, but it puts us up into P4 where we're expected to be. It's a target set by the team. You know, the front 4 really were running away from it. It was pretty much the front 4, then it was me and Mark Webber, then there's a few cars behind us, a little bit, quite a few seconds back. So for Hamilton to make that mistake, pull us up a position is absolutely great, absolutely fantastic, because I don't think we were really going to catch him. And Mark Webber, despite our mistake going into that corner, we end up building a little bit of a gap for the remainder of sector 1 and entering sector 2. So Very, very nice to gain the position there. Coming to the end now of our option stint though. We're on lap 5, which is when we wanted to pit. I only started losing grip on that corner there, as you see. I was correcting for oversteer and things like that. So it was a perfect time to pit as we just started to see, our tyres fall off the cliff. And as you can see on the right and behind us right now, we held up Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso coming into the pits. So that is going to help us gain on the cars in front of us. Maybe we hold them up by a second or so, which is time for them lost on the track and time for us gained. So, they're pretty close in front of us. We're going to try and, maybe push at the beginning of this prime tyre stint to try and catch them. As you see as well, though, cars are coming down at this pit straight, and we've got a car directly coming behind us, and it is going to be the Ferrari of Felipe Massa. We try and give him space, but we end up going back onto the racing line because he just takes too long, and in the end there's a little bit of contact. No one loses any major parts of their front wing though, so that is fine. No real warning of a contact or anything. Still a bit disappointed that I made contact with him, but what are you going to do? And now coming out to the end of lap 6 onto lap 7. Of course, all those cars that didn't pit last lap are pitting now, and we're going to see if we made the undercut work because Mark Webber stayed out for an additional lap. There is Kimi Räikkönen to the right of us, and up ahead, taking turn 1 right now, is Mark Webber as we go wide. So Mark Webber somehow gained time on us on the track, despite the fact we pitted a lap early, so it's not very good. It means he is, he's faster than us in terms of race pace, and really our race pace isn't too bad. I mean, we can keep, I think top 6 maybe in terms of race pace, but that's still not good enough. And you see lap 10, not really made any ground. In fact, Mark Webber's pulled away from us, and it's not too good. We're just keeping a gap between Mark Webber ahead of us and Kimi Räikkönen, but we get a safety car. There is a safety car out, and if you can look onto the top left, we're actually in P4 now instead of P5, which means one of the front runners ahead crashed out of the race somehow. I don't really know how, and at the end of the race I found out it ends up being Fernando Alonso. So Fernando Alonso must have been leading the race. He was in pole, and somehow he's crashed, causing a safety car to be deployed. This is great for us. I was kind of debating whether I wanted to pit or not because, well, a lovely fresh set of options would be great, but I don't have any. So it's either do I go on to more fresher primes, but then no one's pitting around me. So in the end I decided I had to continue on, and I had to just make these tyres last for the rest of the race, which is okay because we're going to do 2 laps behind the safety car anyway. So that, we won't exactly wear our tyres out drastically. And not only that, it allows us to gain up to Mark Webber. So here we are, right at the end of the safety car in this, right at the end of the safety car stint. It's going in this lap, so basically we're going to have to try and get a good start, try and beat Mark Webber in the first couple of corners because it's crucial that we can get Mark Webber because he is faster than us on race pace, and there is a podium right there. Mark Webber is in our position, and hopefully we can get a podium in our first race. That would of course be an immense achievement to do considering we qualified in 10th. And there you go, we don't have to get the best of start. In fact, we get quite a poor start, and Mark Webber pulls away from us. We use all of our cars, but still isn't enough really. We just lost the rear end coming, pulling the throttle down too quickly. And that isn't good. It means Mark Webber's got a little bit of gap to us. We cut the corner there quite a bit badly. My bad. Sorry about that. But I really wanted to catch Mark Webber. We're going on the grass there. That's not good from me. But we're using the slipstream. We're trying to catch Mark Webber. We go and make a diving move down the inside. That is very, very optimistic. We end up tapping Mark Webber a little bit. My apologies there, but I do let up and try and let him go ahead. But in the end, he just seems to let up as well. So I end up just going around him and getting 3rd position. I apologise for touching him, and that probably caused him to slow down, but I did lift off the throttle, and I tried to allow him to gain that lead again so I could try and take the position respectively and with no contact. But he lifted off the throttle as well, and I was like, well, I'm not waiting here for you. I've got to go around, otherwise Kimi behind us, I believe it was Kimi behind us, was going to catch us. So end up getting up into P3. That is immense. Trying to catch those 2 ahead, but again, they're running away with it. We can't exactly compete with the front 2. And here we are on lap 15 now, a final lap. We're approaching our final lap of the Grand Prix. As you can see on the map, on the bottom left, the front 2 have run away, but Mark Webber is less than a second behind us. We're on -1 lap of fuel. We're on the last lap of the race. This is not good. This means we'll either be running out of lap. No, it's on to option now. That is fine. That is okay. We'll switch it up into standard mix in a second. But Mark Webber is right behind us. He has DRS as well, but we managed to hold him off there. The grip in our tyres though is running dangerously low. We really have to make sure that we can hold off Mark Webber. We're quite quick round sector 1 though, so that is okay. We should, as you can see as I flip behind there, we should really keep him behind us. It's now 0.7, it's fine, but we go wide on that corner there, which allows Mark Webber to gain right on us again. Look at them arrows, they're right on top of us. He's pretty much inside my gearbox right now. So we're going to have to try and outbrake him here, despite the fact he's behind us, which we do. We gain a little bit of time on him there because we brake a little bit later, and down this straight we lose about half of our curves because, of course, the pit straight isn't going to be used for its full length, so we won't need a lot of curves down the pit straight. So we're going to use as much as we can now in Sector 2 and Sector 3. As you see, we still, you know, again, was that 0.1? I think the sector split there, but I'd say it's about, you know, 3/10 or so behind us coming into the last few corners now of this Grand Prix in Sector 3, and I go wide yet again. I completely missed the apex, and it allows Mark Webber to be right behind me, but I'm confident now. I'm sure that we've made it to our first ever podium finish. Mark Webber can't be seen on the radar behind me. If I look in my rear mirrors, I can't see him. So coming down the pit straight for the last time of today, we managed to get our 3rd place and we managed to get a podium. That is amazing, that is immense, that is incredible. Kimi Räikkönen gets 5th, but the positions we've gained 7 positions, we've achieved our target, we've got our first podium, first race. Great way to introduce ourselves to the team. I get an achievement for my troubles as well. We had a great fight with Mark Webber at the end of the race, but sadly my race pace wasn't up to the standard today. Hopefully that will improve. I'm not a huge fan of the Australian track, and I find it difficult to find a rhythm. But very good way. Here is me checking that it was Fernando Alonso that was out of the race. So it puts us 3rd in this championship, of course, considering there's only been one race, with Nico Rosberg, winning the race. So this will be it for now, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, as you see me winning my podium, getting my 3rd place and a podium there. So this will be it for now. Next time I will meet you back will be Malaysia, I believe. So until then, guys, peace out.